Hi, everyone, and welcome. This is Emily Carey from the Windows Project Steering Committee. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. First and foremost, I hope everyone is safe and healthy in these crazy times that we are in. And even though it's been a very, very turbulent few months, we wanted to take this opportunity to welcome everyone together to celebrate the Windows Project 10th anniversary. It's a very exciting year for the Windows Project. And of course, if we'd had our way, we would have done something in person, but the next best thing, as we're also used to now, is to get together over Zoom. So we thought we'd take this opportunity to come together, take a little bit of a trip down memory lane, and share some exciting news for the year ahead. And we all need good news right now. So it's wonderful to have something to celebrate. So thank you so much for being here with us and for being such an important part of the Windows Project journey. I can't believe it's been a decade. So what we're going to do is go all the way back to the beginning and do a little bit of a highlight reel of sorts. And right now we have this set up as a webinar to allow us to show videos with a little bit better functionality. But later on, we're going to open it up so everyone can jump on screen, say hi, chat, and catch up. So anyone who can stick around after this, we'd love to see your beautiful faces. So we're going to go back 10 years, 2010. And many of us were fortunate enough to be with Pedro when he traveled back to Cuba for the first time since he'd left when he was 18. Obviously, very, very emotional trip, very unique experience. And I think one that most of us thought would only happen once in our lifetimes. But what was so exciting was that it was the beginning of the Windows Project, unbeknownst to us at the time. So Pedro reconnected with the leadership of Danza Contemporáneo de Cuba, the leading contemporary company in the country, and an incredible group of artists. And that led to him being commissioned to create a brand new piece for the company, which was the first time a Cuban American had been given that honor. And it was very, very exciting. So many of us who are on this call tonight came together to help make that a reality, which was really incredible. And many of us traveled to Havana to see the world premiere of the piece set on the company, which was very, very exciting. And then to bring everything full circle, and was really the beginning of Pedro's vision for the Windows Project, the company came to the United States, and in the same season, this is early 2011, had the US premiere of the piece at the Joyce Theater in Manhattan. And many of us, of course, were also there for that. It was a great night of celebration. During this time as well, a documentary commissioned by PBS was made about this entire journey of Pedro's called Coming Home. And so what we're going to share right now is a video clip of a New York Times spotlight that was done on the documentary process itself, as well as a highlight reel from that gorgeous piece, Horizonte, from the Joyce Theater in New York. So enjoy.
I have the honor and the privilege to be the first Cuban American choreographer to choreograph and set a work in a Cuban company. What inspired me is just being here. It's just being, come back to Cuba. It's just being a Cuban, that, and the blood, the Cuban blood, is, I feel, running, like the river inside my veins.
We think that he has the Cuban inside.
I have time to walk around the Havana, seeing the people walking in the street and the way they move with the breeze of the warm weather.
I
have the opportunity to walk around the Malecón, and I saw the ocean splashing waters. The water was telling me, use me, do something with me. You have to be part of your dance.
The first time Danza Contemporánea de Cuba performing in the United States. So that's very important. We have to do it and do it very well, and the audience in New York, we have to make it love us.
It's wonderful now to receive this company in the United States. So it's like the whole circle of life is complete.
It has been good. A lot of, I don't know how to say, applause.
I wanted this to be the beginning of many relations and many cultural exchange. So I think this piece is like the open bird, and it's an open soul inside me, you know, that is coming back to Cuba.
All right. Okay, here we are. Muy buenas noches. It is so wonderful to be here with all my friends as we celebrating Windows Project 10th anniversary. As I was looking to the video, this brings me back so many wonderful stories and memories. And this was just the beginnings of these amazing 10 years of cultural and educational exchange between the United States and Cuba, using dance as a way to bring people together. This gave me a great opportunity to work with the best dancers in Cuba. And I was thinking today, I say, you know, if we all dance more together, I think that the world would be in much, much better place today, isn't it? Yes. So tonight we have a special, I would say, present for all of you, as memory and all of you will remember having a mojito in an Hotel Nacional or a daiquiri, yes, in the famous Hemingway El Floridita, or walking through Paseo del Prado to Malecón, or getting lost in the wonderful night of the Havana. And here is for you. What a wonderful, wow, memories. Yes, and all of you, we have the opportunity in the end of the program to share your experience. I say hello because all these pictures, oh my God, I was looking, I would say, oh my God, you remember that, you remember that. You know, in all this year, I have opportunity to meet so many beautiful, exciting people who travel to Cuba with the Windows Project to support this project. In this time, I met also a beautiful lady, a great friend. Her name is Madeline Plosket.
My name is Madeline Plonsker, and I live outside Chicago, and I am a friend of the Windows Project because 10 years ago in Havana, I met a wonderful young woman named Miriam Castillo. I had been going to Cuba since 2002, collecting art, working with the arts community, and when I met Miriam, she introduced me to Windows, and it opened up a new window in my life. In 2002, when I first went to Cuba as a tourist, I had the privilege of attending classes at the Ballet de Nacional school and became acquainted with some of the staff there. And upon my return visits, I began to visit the classes, watch the children grow, see them from the age of 11 to 17, 18 years of age. Along the way, I was turning 75, and I decided to give myself a secret birthday gift, and that was to commission 2 ballets with the students of the Ballet Nacional School. It was a big project, and I thought a great deal about it. I had sat on the board of Luna Negra Dance Theater and was very well acquainted with Pedro Ruiz, the choreographer. And when I decided to give myself the secret present, I decided it should be Cuban in all of its natures. So I asked Pedro if he would be the choreographer. So together, we put together 2 wonderful ballets, music by Frank Fernandez, choreography by Pedro Ruiz. And I never told anybody except them that it was my gift to myself. I don't think Cuba would have been interested in knowing that. I chose Pedro because the work he was doing for Luna Negra was sophisticated, it was sexy, it had a lot of original feel to it. It wasn't derivative. Pedro had his own sense of how movement is produced with people, and I just really enjoyed the work that he did. Whenever he set a piece for Luna Negra, it always was a hit. It was one of the most joyous times for me in my visits to Cuba, because these were when Heriberto Cabezas allowed me to use the graduating class. I had followed these children for at least 4 or 5 years. I developed like I don't know, I guess a grandma relationship with the kids. So on my actual birthday, they were danced by the young graduating seniors, and it was really quite an amazing and wonderful come to fruition situation. And I was very, very pleased with the results. Pedro is a friend. He's an artist. The Windows Project is a dream come true for Cuba/America. The connection is seamless, and I'm glad that I was able to be a little wave in the ocean of the project.
was amazing. Madeline, thank you again for sharing that story. It's great to hear it again. And for anyone who maybe wasn't aware of it 5 years ago, so glad we were able to highlight it. And such a testament to Pedro's artistry, to Madeline's vision, and to the extraordinary talent of those dancers who I think were 17 or 18 at the time. So that is a great segue to talk about the second half of this decade of the Windows Project. A great amount of that time was spent working for Pedro with Ballet Contemporaneo de Camagüey. And he had the great honor a few years ago to be named as everyone knows, Associate Artistic Director with the company, which is no small feat, in particular for a Cuban American living in the US. So it's a real demonstration of Pedro's incredible relationships within the Cuban artistic community and the Cuban diplomatic community that he was awarded this honor. And he, of course, took it incredibly seriously and spent many years working closely with the company, going back and forth to Camagüey and Havana. So during this period of the Windows Project, in addition to everything else Pedro was doing professionally, he was invited to submit a piece to the Fire Island Dance Festival with members of Ballet Contemporaneo de Camagüey. And as many of you know, the Fire Island Dance Festival is a highlight of the annual dance calendar here in New York. It is a long-standing tradition put on by Broadway Care's Equity Fights AIDS, and it is quite prestigious to be included in the festival. So in 2016, we worked closely with the team there to bring two dancers to the US. The first time any members of that company had been here, to perform a new piece that Pedro created called Lasting Embrace. And it was met with great acclaim at the festival. And then we were able to hold an event in New York to showcase the piece again, which many of you were able to join us for. And that was very exciting, and of course then made us want to bring the entire company to the US, which is an even bigger undertaking. So we were very, very fortunate at the Windows Project to have as a partner Hunter College and the Hunter College Department of Dance. Pedro, as you know, is on the faculty there and holds the title of Arnhold Artist in Residence. And we thought that that would be the perfect collaboration to bring the company to Hunter through the great generosity and vision of some leaders at Hunter whom Pedro will personally thank. And it took many years. It was the proverbial village to get the company here. Very complicated undertaking, but many, many people made it happen. And it was very, very exciting about a year ago in March of 2019 that the company came to New York and did a week-long residency at Hunter College designed by Pedro, which was an in-depth educational and artistic week of exchange, teaching, performing, master classes, and then of course, an incredible public performance sold out, which was awesome, at the Danny Kaye Playhouse at Hunter College, which many of you were able to be there for. So we thought we'd share the promo reel that was done for the company for that residency, just to take everyone back to what an exciting moment that was.
Wow, 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 wow. You know, it was so wonderful to have this company finally perform in New York after such a difficult time, you know, to bring the company. That was the moment that the embassy was closed. We had to bring the company to Mexico, back to Cuba, and then to New York. But you know what? That evening of the performance in New York was magic. The audience and the dancers mixed together and was an amazing, enchanting evening. So I would like to thank so much to President Jennifer Rapp to believe in this project, and to my dear Jody Arnhold for her vision and her completely support to make this possible. Also, I would like to thank to the dance department at Hunter College, the chair, Carol Walker, and my good friend, Kathleen Isa, director of the Arnhold Graduate Program, for the full support in the master classes and also in the performance outreach program for children. That was beautiful, very beautiful. You know, the company had opportunity to perform with children of the New York State Public School. So that was great, great exchange in there. So I was very happy with that. And as you know, we are traveling right now over a very difficult time. You know, are we learning new ways to navigate? So I was very happy when Ballet Hispanico invited me to choreograph for the 50th anniversary at Duets that we just was premiere. And also the New Jersey Ballet, I just finished to choreograph that will be premiering later on this month. So that's some of the news. Emily, back to you.
Thank you, Pedro. And I'm doing this section of the program because we have an announcement, and I think Pedro sometimes is too modest for his own good. And I wanted to make sure to reinforce how exciting this is because he's fabulous. So, as we saw with the video of Three States of the Soul, the piece that Madeline commissioned 5 years ago, that was the graduating class of students from the school at Ballet Nacional de Cuba. So you can imagine what the company members are in terms of expertise and caliber. It's absolutely an extraordinary company of artists, and they are among the best dance companies in the world. For anyone who hasn't had direct exposure to them, they are the creme de la creme of ballet artistry. For many, many decades, under the direction of the late, great Alicia Alonso, and now under the direction of their former star and new artistic director, Viance Valdez. So it is very, very exciting to announce, and especially in these crazy times, to have something really exciting to celebrate, that Pedro has been asked to create a new original commission for Ballet Nacional de Cuba. This is a thrill, a new high in his already amazing career. So we're so proud and thrilled. And this wouldn't have happened without these past 10 years of the Windows Project, which everyone here tonight has made possible. So even though we can't announce it in person, it's great to do it virtually. So as everyone knows, we always try to pair a trip with one of these big Cuba premieres. Right now, this is set for early 2021, and of course, we're not sure that's going to be possible. But we will find a way to celebrate together, maybe something in person in New York, definitely something virtual, if nothing else, and we will make sure everyone can come together to be part of that. So excited. Peter's going to share a little bit of his inspiration around the piece, and we're also going to share one more video clip of Nacional de Cuba, in case you don't believe me. Amazing. We'll drive it home. But and open it up so that everyone can chat and we can see everyone's beautiful faces. I'm going to turn it over to my dear friend, fellow committee member, and a travel expert, particularly when it comes to Cuba, to talk a little bit about the state of play when it comes to travel in Cuba going forward. Miriam?
Thank you, Emily. Good evening, everyone. It's such a joy to be able to be part of this very special evening for the Windows Project. Cuba, in terms of the virus was introduced to Cuba by international tourists, primarily from Italy, Germany, and France. From the onset, the Ministry of Public Health took a very, very aggressive stance in terms of containment. They hit the ground running with tracing, testing, and isolating, and trying to do their best within the spans of tourism in Cuba. Really, there were tourists all over the island of Cuba. So in the very short term, they were able to contain this through the things that I mentioned previously. As of the last statistics that they were published by the Ministry of Public Health, which were on June 23rd, they had contained it to 2,319 cases, 85 fatalities, which were tragic, but considering the stance of the country, were quite, it was amazing that they were able to contain it to just that. Presently, they basically locked down the country and closed their borders in early March. Currently, their borders are still closed. It is expected that they will open their borders to international tourism sometime in August. However, that is going to be a very, very contained and limited type of tourism and restricted. They will restrict international tourists to just be able to travel to certain areas of the country, primarily the northern Atlantic region of the country, which encompass the provinces of Villa Clara, Santa Clara, and Camagüey, which are the keys, because there is primarily because there is the greatest amount of resorts there that will be able to handle that type of tourism. But they basically want international tourists to be isolated from the rest of the population. The country itself is in the first phase of their reopening. There is no timeline that they've published as to how they will go through these phases in terms of the country, nor is there a timeline that they published in terms of opening the country up to tourism so that tourists can travel throughout the rest of the country. However, we are going to monitor this. I think all of us would love to be in the audience in Havana next year when the Pedro's piece premieres, but we're going to monitor and we will keep you informed. So I will turn this over to Pedro so that he can talk to you about his vision for this piece, which is amazing, by the way. Pedro?
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope everything was fine and we can celebrate in Havana next year in the springtime. To achieve a great thing, we must first dream. Coco Chanel. So this will be my collaboration and my inspiration for my new piece for Ballet Nacional of Cuba. Coco before Chanel. How this poor girl raised in a nun's orphanage managed to be one of the best known and most innovative female designer in our lifetime. This will be a collaboration with all Cuban artists. Yeah, we have a collaboration with a musician. They're doing all new score for the piece, costume designers, set designer. So it's going to be amazing, amazing new piece that will be at the beginning also of the Ballet Nacional of Cuba under the new direction of Bianzai Valdez. Of course, the piece will be performed by the prima ballerina and new director Bianzai. And I think that would be a completely new wave, a new opening for me and for Ballet Nacional of Cuba. And now it is a great pleasure to introduce to you this amazing company that is Ballet Nacional of Cuba.
That I've seen that now so many times, and it still gives me goosebumps. So really extraordinary that Pedro is going to be working with this group of dancers next year. So that is wrapping up the formal part of our program. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you can stick around and chat with everybody so we can put everyone's faces up on the Zoom window. To do that, down at the bottom of your screen, there should be a little hand that you hit. I'm not super technologically advanced, but if you hit that, we should be able to let you in. So please do that and stick around and catch up with us. And before I turn it over to Pedro for the wrap up, thank you again so much for your support, for your dedication, for your friendship, and for helping us move into the second decade of the Windows Project. Please stay safe and healthy, and I hope to see everyone soon in person. Thank you. Pedro?
Hello, 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 hello. My God, what a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. I am so happy. I am so happy of all this year, 10 years, and I'm so happy with, and thank you all everybody who been part of this family and still be part of this family of the Windows Project. So I'm looking forward to say hello, everybody.